Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome one final time in the regular season to McGonigal Hall as we've got dual meet action and Senior Day 2020 for the Temple Owls. I'm Kevin Cobb, joined by Casey Addis. Casey, busy weekend here. 2 meets in one weekend for us and a club meet for the last 36 hours in between. So we get set to wrap up an exciting weekend of gymnastics and our last look at these two teams before we see them again in the postseason.
Yeah, it'll be a good meet for Temple, sort of a test of their endurance coming off of a Friday meet right into a Sunday meet. But it's a good practice for, any postseason action that they will see. And then for them competing here in a couple weeks for ECACs.
They will be on their home floor in the ECAC Championship. That is Saturday, March 21st. That is what this whole year is building to for Temple. And for Ursinus, who is the other team in today's dual meet, they will compete in the East Regional in the NCGA's next weekend at Springfield College. So this is their last tune-up as well. So you have two teams that are looking to finish the regular season strong, and head into the postseason. And we have to talk about Friday night for Temple, as it was really a disappointing finish for the Owls. They had a quad meet here at home against Penn, Bowling Green, and Westchester. It seemed like within those last couple of floor routines, Temple was poised to take the win. They just needed a score of 9.825 from one of their final two competitors. Couldn't get it, so they've got to put aside some of that disappointment today and try to finish off the season strong. And we'll get started with Tori Edwards on vault for Temple.
Starting with a strong Yurchenko full, a small step back, but great form in the air. Exactly what they need to start off strong on their first event.
The meet really didn't begin the way Temple wanted it to on vault. Scoring was a little tight. I think it wasn't certainly Temple's worst vault of the year by any stretch. They hit 6 for 6, but it was a 48-1, and Temple really never rounded into form. They did well on bars and beam, and then they made some mistakes of their own on floor, especially down the stretch.
Yeah, when you lose by less than a tenth, 0.025, it's always looking back on what could have we done a little bit differently, whether that's a flex foot, a step on a dismount, a little out of control, out of bounds on floor. So there's definitely things that they're going to look at today's meet, and I'm sure they're looking back on that they know they can fix.
So unlike a traditional dual meet, we are not going to alternate events. Both teams are going to run basically at their own pace here. Vault is where Temple will start. Ursinus will start on bars. We'll flip in the second rotation. So we're awaiting the opening score here for Tori Edwards. The rest of Temple's vault lineup, just one change from Friday night, and that's dropping Heidi Vanderboom from 1st to 6th. But the same personnel here, and we'll get our first look at one of Temple's 3 seniors that will be honored today, and that is Jasmine Estrella.
Got a 9.7 from Tori Edwards, so definitely an improvement from what we saw on Friday for their first vault.
Meanwhile, over on bars for Ursinus, E.J. Gable has officially kicked off the meet for the Bears.
Another nice Yurchenko full. Great height off of the course. Just that slight step back, slight pike in the air, but another good vault.
Jasmine has really come into her own in the last half of her senior year, transferred here to Temple, and she's got great potential, and I think we're really finally starting to see how good a gymnast she really is. She's also got an enormous fan section here today, so I'm sure this is a lot of fun for her to be out on this floor.
Yeah, always bittersweet as your last home meet. Besides ECACs, but coming in as your last home meet on your home turf, so it's always a mix of emotions for the gymnasts.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those weird things, and it does sometimes happen as the score comes up for Estrella. It is a 9.75, so she also improves off of her Friday night score, which I think is going to be kind of the measuring stick for Temple today. Can they do better than they did on Friday night? Yeah, they will be on this floor one more time, but it's not the same. This is your last home meet, and another senior getting to go out in style. We'll see her on vaulted floor today. This is Jaylene Everett.
Very nice. Lots of power coming off of the horse. You can see that step back, but overall, great form in the air, great tight landing, and straight body.
Yeah, Jaylene has so much potential on this event. We've seen it 2 years ago as a sophomore. She was an NCAA individual qualifier, and you really want for her a senior that has done so much for this program over the last 4 years. Estrella transferred in. The other 2 seniors, Jaylene Everett and Daisy Todd, have been here for all 4 years of their career. You want to see them be able to go out on top.
Yeah, that's something in your senior meet that you really hope for.
Score comes up. It is a 9.7 for Jaylene Everett, and after a pretty lengthy delay, we finally have our first Ursinus score, a 9.225 for E.J. Gable. Back to Temple on vault. Up fourth, freshman Madison Brooks.
Nice vault. I would definitely say that is an improvement from Friday. Height in the air was good. Just that slight, you can see the power that they all have, which is what they'll definitely want to focus on come ECACs, but better to be hopping backwards than to be struggling to land. So definitely another good vault for them.
Yeah, we're in a tough position to judge distance from the table since we're at the opposite end of the vault runway, but we can judge height, and that was quite high for Brooks. So the opening scores for Temple, 9-7 for Edwards, 9-7-5 for Estrella, 9-7 for Jaylene Everett. We'll have the score momentarily for Madison Brooks. Ariana Castrense and Heidi Vanderboom are the last two, and Madison Brooks with a 9-8, close to a career high for the freshman, just a quarter tenth off.
Yeah, this is definitely a little bit of a confidence boost for them starting out this meet a little bit on a higher note already from Friday.
So here is Ariana Castrense. We're still not going to see the double. We're going to have to wait, Casey, until the ECAC championship to hopefully see it. She's going to do the Yurchenko full today.
So much power. Very nice. Definitely an improvement of the landing from Friday. Form in the air is always great. Legs together, plenty of height off the vault. She can see that landing before she hits the ground, which is always what you want to see on vault.
Again, the Yurchenko double full that she did pull out at Maryland last weekend is that with another full rotation, and so we'll hopefully get that back in. Temple does have one more regular season meet next weekend. They're in Williamsburg to take on one of their ECAC foes, William and Mary, and then they'll come back here for the ECAC championship, like we said, on the 21st. So Heidi Vanderboom, the freshman, will be up 6. This has been a very solid start for Temple. The score comes up for Castrense. It is a 9-7-5. So Temple already is 6/10 higher than what they were on Friday night. It's a 48-7, and so really a pressure-free vault here coming for the freshman Vanderboom.
It's always interesting to see how the judging can change, and once you get different judges sitting there, what they're seeing, what they're looking at can be completely different. So this is a great start for them. Good vault. From my point of view, it did look like great distance from the horse. Slight pike down, but the form in the air did look nice.
So that will wrap up the first rotation for Temple. And we'll get to spend some time here with Ursinus. Up third on bars for the Bears. This is a senior, Ellie LaFountain.
Very nice free up handstand to Ginger. A little loose and missed that handstand, but pulls it back together for that bail. Just some form issues here on bars, going from low to high with some flex feet, a little bit loose legs, but a nice handstand to finish out as she winds up for her dismount. Double tuck to pretty much a stick, so that I'm sure that they are happy with that routine.
Score comes in for Heidi Vanderboom. It is a 9-7-2-5. That matches the career high. So Josh Nielsen making a late switch, dropping Vanderboom from first to sixth in the lineup. Give her a little bit of protection, and it works out. That score counts, and Temple scores a 48-7-2-5. Very nice start on vault.
Like we've talked about, trying to creep up towards those 49s on your events is really what will set you up for some success in your team score. So this is a great start for them as they head into bars.
Temple twice this season has scored a 195 or better, and worth noting that's 2 times they've done it this year. I think there's only 6 or 7 in the history of the program, so that's a great number. That's always, I think, you know, whether or not anyone would come out and say it, I think that's the goal number kind of in the back of Temple's mind.
It is. That's a number that they feel comfortable with, especially as they head into ECACs, a number that they can feel confident can potentially win them that title, and that is a number that I'm not sure how many other teams in the ECAC have hit this year, but they are definitely ahead on that mark.
Yeah, nobody else in the ECAC has hit a 195. Yale and Penn, who figure to be the strongest competition for Temple in the ECAC, have come close to it. But Temple is the only team, and they are first in a variety of metrics in the ECAC, including the NQS, which is the scoring average that we use for postseason seeding. Score comes in for LaFountain. It is a 9-0, so the early scores for Ursinus, and 9-2-2-5 remains the high score. That was E.J. Gable. 8-5-5 from freshman Shruti Anand, and a 9-0 from Ellie LaFountain. So we've got 3 left here for Ursinus. Freshman Alyssa DeLorme, junior Haley DeChico, and freshman Alex Panetta. We'll also see an exhibition on bars for the Bears.
And looking at some of Ursinus' scores this season, bars has been a little bit on the low end for them, so it'll be good to see them hit that 9 mark, which is what they're aiming for, but a little trouble as they begin this routine.
Yeah, the high mark on bars for Ursinus this year has been a 47.5. And unfortunately, like everything else, when you talk about this sport, it really comes down more to the consistency, and I think that's what's escaped Ursinus here. They do have a couple of gymnasts capable of going into that 9.6, 9.7 range on bars. It's just a matter of finding that consistency here in their lineup.
It is, and you know, they're throwing some really great skills. A lot of what they have worked on besides making the skills is getting those formed together and making sure that those release moves go to handstand. She'll look to hit this final handstand. Good finish. Good save on that toe on blind full to a double tuck. So strong finish after that unfortunate beginning.
And we will have 2 to go here in this lineup for Ursinus. Again, DeChico and Panetta before we see an exhibition from one of their seniors, Sabrina Tusevitz. Very interestingly, I don't know that I've ever seen this. Ursinus had their senior meet in January. They had 2 home meets this season. Both of them happened to come in the month of January, so they have been road warriors this year. Now, this is an easy one for them to come down into Philadelphia from Collegeville, but they have been all over the map, and that will continue as they head to NCGA Regionals next week up in Springfield, Massachusetts.
That is tough. It does keep emotions a little bit lower, getting that out of the way early in the season. Because, you know, you have high emotions on your senior meet, but getting it, you know, probably only on their 3rd or 4th meet of the season just allowed them to accept it, be done, and then move on, which being on the road in the end will probably help as they compete away from home for their NCGA championships.
Well, you can see the running score in the bottom of your screen. Temple is in at the end of the first rotation with a 48.725. We're awaiting the score here from DeLorme, who had the fall on the Shapashnikova. It's an 8.575. That will count for Ursinus. Right now, the low mark is an 8.55. So here is Haley DeChico, who's had some good success this year, season high of 9.675 on bars.
Nice start with a blind full into that Ginger, right into the bail. Drags her feet on that, didn't quite get the swing she needed out of it, but a good connection overall. Tough one. She winds up to finish. Toe front off, couple steps, a little out of control on that landing, but coming off of a fall, probably a little bit of nerves, making sure she wanted to stay on the bars.
So with that, we have 1 routine remaining, and that is a freshman in the anchor spot for Ursinus, Alex Panetta. Will be last up for the Bears. Casey, you mentioned earlier with Ursinus having gotten that senior day out of the way, limiting the emotion. I think that's one of the things that we always tend to talk about in a senior meet. And so for Temple, we got 2 seniors who we got to see already, Jasmine Estrella and Jaylene Everett, and it seems like Temple's group of seniors so far doing a nice job of handling that pressure.
It is. I mean, I remember my senior meet. It is on your mind that you want your last routines at home to be made, whether it's a season high or not. You just want to feel good about what you put out there. So for them, I'm sure they're focusing on it, but do have to put that in the back of their mind a little bit and just focus on trying to have a higher score than Friday and build some confidence as they end with their last couple meets of the season.
So we're going to see Jasmine Estrella on 3 events today. She will be on vault, bars, and beam. We'll see Jaylene on vault and floor. And we'll see Daisy Todd, who will open the bars lineup in our 2nd rotation. She's also going to get to do an exhibition on beam, which she hasn't competed since earlier in her career, but it'll be a fun way for her to get to showcase something extra on senior day as well.
Yeah, that's something that coaches tend to do when it comes to senior meets. A lot of these girls do not just train 1 or 2 events. They tend to train 3 to 4. So whether they're in the lineup or not, it's always nice to give them that last chance to kind of get their routine in competition and make a mark on that.
Judges getting together to discuss the scores for DeChico. Might have been just too far off on their individual scores, so they'll get together, and it looks like we will have a verdict shortly.
Yeah, on bars, when a gymnast drags her feet and comes from one trick straight into a bail, it can probably be difficult on what kind of credit and deduction they took on the dragging of the feet.
Looks like, at least from what we can see from the near side judge, they did keep it at a 10-0 start value, so they'll take the deduction. 9:05 is the score for DeChico, so up in the anchor spot here is freshman Alex Panetta.
Toe on, toe off into that Ginger. Lots of power coming out of that. Little leg separation, but probably the best I've seen from the team so far. She'll get ready to finish up the routine. Final handstand, very nice. Blind full a little late into that double tuck, but a great routine to finish out that lineup.
Yeah, that's the best of the 6 for Ursinus, and we'll see what this one scores for Panetta. And a reminder, we've got an exhibition routine coming before we get to our first break of the afternoon. We mentioned that magic number for Temple is that 195 that the Owls have scored twice this season. We break down the math for you a little bit. That is a 48.750 on each of the 4 events, gets you to a 195. So Temple is just off of that pace right now at a 48.725, but in great shape. And one of the reasons, as we talk about how Temple stacks up in the ECAC, one of the things that I think is really going to be to the Owls' benefit is come that meet, they're going to have 5 start values of 995 on those Yurchenko fulls. We're going to assume that Ariana Castrense is going to do the double, which is a 10-0 start value. There's not another team in the ECAC that is going to start that high from their starting values on vault, and so that should give Temple a nice leg up on the competition.
It is true that change from a 10 to a 995 for Yurchenko fulls really does make a difference for the teams that compete all the fulls or even 1.5 the doubles.
So the score for Panetta was a 9.475, and here is senior Sabrina Tusevitz in an exhibition.
Failed a handstand, some leg separation, but did hit that handstand. Didn't quite have enough power coming out of that handstand to finish what I assume is going to be a blind full. So she'll come down, take a break, and finish her routine. And again, talking about that 195, something that is possible from every event for Temple to do. We have seen it throughout the season, so it's really just putting it all together on the one day. And she'll look to finish up her routine. Hits the blind full there, double back, little chest down, step forward. It finishes out with that connection.
And with that, we come to the end of one rotation here in McGonigal Hall. Scores are as follows. Temple 48.725, massive improvement from what they scored on Friday night. And for Ursinus, competing for the first time in the month of March, they've been off since the end of February. They open with a 45.325 on bars. So we'll switch heading to the second rotation. Temple on bars, Ursinus to vault when we continue. Back, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Kopp, Casey Addis with you here on Owls TV. Final home meet of the regular season. It is senior day for Temple. There are your scores through one rotation. The Owls in the lead, 48.725 for Temple on vault. Ursinus scores a 45.325 to open the meet on bars. We will flip in the second rotation. Ursinus on vault, Temple on bars. And we'll give you the lineups for both. For Ursinus, they'll be led off by Alex Panetta, who is their bars anchor. She'll get things started on vault, followed by Haley DeChico. EJ Gable will be third. Shruti Anand will be fourth. Bree Couts, a senior, will be fifth. And Taylor Cusick in the anchor spot. For Temple on bars, the last of Temple seniors, Daisy Todd, will make her senior day debut. She leads off on bars, followed by freshman Madison Brooks. Juniors Delaney Guerin and Tori Edwards, another senior Jasmine Estrella, and then sophomore Ariana Castrense in the anchor spot. We talked about, Casey, the improvement that Temple is trying to make from Friday night to today. They obviously did that in spades on vault. Actually had a pretty good meet on bars. 48-7-5-0 was their team score, but when you look at the bigger picture, bars has been a sticking point for Temple this year. They've had more meets than they would have liked where they've had to count a fall, and I think if you had to identify one of the 4 events that Temple really wants to tighten up going into ECACs, it would be this one.
Definitely, and even yesterday, scoring a decent score, some great routines. You can still see some improvements they have to make, especially with some of the landings, really focusing on those sticks. So this is one of those events that I know they will focus on, and when they are on, they are on. So that's what they're going to look for today.
Daisy Todd looks ready to go for Temple on bars. Momentarily, Panetta will lead off for Ursinus on vault.
All right, that blind half into her pike Jaeger. Very nice, good form. Good bail to handstand. And she'll look to hit this final handstand for her dismount. Into her blind full, very nice. That was much better. She struggled a little bit with that in warm-up, so it was nice to see her get her chest up at the end. Slight step, but overall great start for their bar lineup.
And good to see Daisy, who's been back in on bars in the last 2 meets. And if you haven't followed this program closely over her 4 years, her freshman year was probably at the time, you could make the case it was the best season that any gymnast had had in the history of Temple Gymnastics. She was the ECAC Freshman of the Year. She was an NCAA individual qualifier. She's had some injuries. She's had some illness over the course of her career, but she is stuck with it. She's been a great team leader, and nice to see her get her senior day moment there.
No, it is great. I know that leading up into preseason, the reason that she was a little in and out of the lineup was a lot of endurance, just with some illness and injuries, not getting the numbers she needed. So looks like she's back and able to get that full routine put together.
9.725 is the opening score for Daisy. 9.5, which matches a career high for Alex Panetta. And here we go, number 2, Madison Brooks.
Beautiful Tkachev. Great height and form into a nice handstand. Bail, slight feet separation, but does hit the handstand. Finishes out with another handstand into her blind full, finishes up top. And good finish, slight shuffle of the feet, but does land with her chest perfectly straight up.
For all our talk of some lower scoring on Friday night, it did not affect Maddie on bars. She had a great routine, scored a 9.825, a career high for her.
She does. She does exactly what the judges are looking for as far as handstands, height in your release moves, keeping the feet together, toes pointed. So she does have that execution that all judges love to see.
Vault score 9.35 for DeChico. And the bar score for Madison Brooks is a 9.725, so she matches Daisy Todd. Up third for Ursinus, this is E.J. Gable.
Very nice Yurchenko layout, good form in the air. As we mentioned, that does start from a little bit of a lower start value, but that is when you are doing the Yurchenko layout, that is what you're looking for as your execution in the air.
And now up third for Temple on bars is Delaney Guerin.
Great handstand to start. Very nice ganger, keeps her feet together the entire time, hits that handstand. Good straddle back, not quite to the handstand, but does come from the handstand, which does help. Great handstand to finish. Find full into that double tuck. Finds the landing. Small shuffles for Temple on their landings. They are definitely fighting for those sticks, which is what you want. They're just not quite getting their feet planted in the ground enough.
E.J. Gable scored a 9.5 for Ursinus, so that matches the high score. Much better second rotation here for the Bears than they had on bars. We'll try to keep that going next with freshman Shruti Anand.
She's going to do the front. Hard to see how low she squatted down from this angle, but did look like she only took one little shuffle of the foot and some good height on that front.
Meanwhile, score comes in now for Garin. It is a 9-8. Massive improvement over some struggles that she had on bars on Friday night. Trying to continue that theme, here is Tori Edwards.
Starts off with her Tkachev into her free hip handstand. Bail, a tiny bit short, but keeps that form nice. Good handstand to finish as she winds up for her double leg. Slightly a little early coming off of that, which is why her knees somewhat buckled there at the end, causing that step. But leading up to that, it was a great routine, but she'll lose a bit for that. That might be the low score so far.
Yeah, that figures to be, and kind of the first blemish really of any sort for Temple today. They've just been coming out of the gate. Everything has actually, they have not had a score lower than a 9-7 all day today in their first 9 routines. As we go back to vault.
Another Yurchenko layout. Some great form that we're seeing from Ursinus, especially keeping that pike not in the air. They're keeping it in a full layout position, which will help their execution score.
Yeah, and that's two that we've seen dead stuck. Alex Pineda in the opening spot, now Bree Couts. Also worth noting, Ursinus has already posted 2 career highs on vault. Pineda in that first routine, and also Shruti Anand, who just went a moment ago, scored a 9.65, new career high for the freshman. And that's good to see after she had the struggle on her bars routine. So shakes that off, bounces right back, and has a new career best. So we will get that score from Bree Couts. We're about to get the score for Tori Edwards. It is a 9.55. So it is indeed the low number for Temple, and one they'll try to get rid of if they can hit here. They've got 2 great bars workers in the 5 and 6 positions in their lineup, beginning with the school record holder on this event, 9.95 earlier this year. This is Jasmine Estrella.
Beautiful handstand to begin this routine. Get some nice height into that blind full Tkachev. My favorite part, her pack, just absolutely beautiful. Gets that pirouette half on the first try. Good handstand to finish as she winds up for her double layout. Beautiful landing. That is the routine they were looking for. You can hear the team and the crowd. Everyone is very happy with that. Exactly what she needed to do. And after what I think being slighted a little bit on Friday with her score, I'm hoping that that will be an improvement.
Yeah, and she's just, again, I've said this a couple times, she has just hit another level right now. And, you know, when we're in break, if you want, go back, scroll back and watch that routine again and just look at the toe point throughout that entire routine. She is just so glued in right now, down to the details, and it's going to be so valuable, again, in a competition setting on bars. There is not another person in the ECAC that can touch her when she is as on as she can be. And here's a nice senior day ovation, 9-9 for Jasmine Estrella on bars.
Well earned, exactly what is deserved, and what I thought was even close to that on Friday, but I do think today's routine was even better. Perfect dismount. As we mentioned, her form in the air, her legs glued together. Now we go to Ariana Castrense, who is another team leader on this event. So really, as Kevin mentioned, a good 5-6 position for Temple to be in.
Meanwhile, over on vault, this is Taylor Cusick for Ursinus.
Little crooked on the vault. Looks like her foot actually hit the yellow surrounding the board, so it was a good save pulling into that tuck position.
No, my error. Cusick already went. We missed that during Estrella's routine. That was an exhibition from Danny Terenzio. So on bars now, Ariana Castrense.
That was a beautiful handstand into her blind full. Oh, another excellent handstand going into her bail. Perfectly up into the handstand, and she'll look to finish up strong with her double layout. Let's go a little early, but pulls it out. I am extremely surprised she got that stick, but we are fine with that. I'm sure she might even be a little surprised. The routine leading up to that was the best I think I have seen.
This is where you'd love to have that shot tracer technology, and look at Jasmine Estrella's arc to a stuck landing, and look at Ariana Castrense. You just draw a straight line down into the ground, and she still found a way to plan it.
It was a little bit of a laser going into the ground, but you know, that just shows her air awareness and her body awareness that she was able to pull that out when a lot of other gymnasts may have flown forward.
So we will get the score here for Castrense. It'll be a bars that Temple is quite happy with, a 9.875. That matches a season best for Castrense. Estrella will take the bars title with a 9.9, and Temple goes above a 49 on bars, 49.025 for the Owls. So a great rotation. Also, we should mention Ursinus with a season high on vault, 47.7. That is their best mark of the year, so everyone's got something to feel good about here at the halfway point.
Yes, that is exactly what they're looking for, kind of that confidence build going into the beam, which will be another important rotation for the Owls.
So we have hit the midpoint of today's meet. We'll step away for a break and come back with the third rotation. Here are your scores through two rotations. Temple with a 97.750 after going above a 49 on bars. Ursinus, big improvement from bars to vault. They've got a 93.025 at the break. We'll be back. Third rotation sends Temple to beam, Ursinus to floor. We've got more from Temple's Senior Day when we continue. Third rotation just about a minute away from getting underway, and here is where we stand with two rotations in the books. Temple off to a great start, 97.750 for the Owls. They would very much like to keep up on beam and floor what they have done so far on vault and bars. Ursinus started slow on bars with a 45.325, picked it up with a season best vault score, a couple career highs in there for the Bears, 47.7. So Ursinus feeling good, 93.025 as they head to floor, and Temple goes to beam. And Casey, we are at that point of the meet now where Temple has obviously done a lot of great work. Terrific close to that bars rotation with a 9.9 from Jasmine Estrella, a 9.875 from Ariana Castrense. But to feel good about this day, you've got to hit four events, and now Temple's done the work on bars. They've got to do the work on beam.
And, you know, beam is always one of those stressor events that you need to start off strong to keep everyone else feeling confident on the beam. And this is a team that can hit beam and hit it very well. On Friday, we saw a couple wobbles here and there, nothing catastrophic for the team on beam, but definitely areas for improvement. So I'm sure that they are coming and feeling confident off of Friday, but they just need to focus on feeling confident and doing the routines they know how to do.
And we are ready. The third rotation is underway with Jordan Oster leading off on beam for Temple.
She'll start with her handspring layout, step out, rock solid landing, a little loose in the air where they'll take some deductions, but no movement on the landing. Switch leap to her tuck full, very nice. Cat leap, front toss, excellent landing, no movement.
Meanwhile, Ursinus gets underway on floor. That is Haley DeChico.
Very nice gainer full to a stuck landing. Good start off routine for the Owls.
Well, as you said, Casey, that lead-off routine is so critical. Oster is a veteran, great beam worker, and they feel very confident having her in that spot. Good start for Temple as they keep that momentum going from bars to beam. And over on floor, tough start for Haley DeChico, takes a fall on her first pass.
Yeah, she just didn't quite get that takeoff for her Rudy that was needed, so when you don't get that height, it's hard to get it all the way around. So she's going to look to finish out and get the power she needs leading into her final passes. It's 1.5 into front layout, very nice.
Score comes up for Oster. It is an opening 9-7.
Besides some form issues, her routine was rock solid, so they'll take that as a leadoff spot and hope to continue that level going forward.
The rest of the Beam lineup is Madison Brooks, Jasmine Estrella, Ariana Castrense, Delaney Guerin, and Taylor Newland. We'll get an exhibition from Daisy Todd, and this is Madison Brooks.
Start with her pike jump split quarter. Some beautiful jumps to start off. Cat leap into front aerial, handspring, layout step out. Very nice. She did not get that connection on Friday, so it's good to see her pull that all together today. Finish up with her gainer full stuff. Very nice second routine up. You can see they are happy with that.
So Temple 2 for 2 over on Beam. And we are still waiting on the first floor score for Ursinus from DeChico. The rest of the Ursinus lineup: Alex Panetta, EJ Gable, Skylar Haas, Taylor Cusick, and Kaylin Knapsack. We'll also get an exhibition from Ellie LaFountain. And the judges are going to get together to talk, so we've probably got a little while to go on floor. Score is up for Madison Brooks. It's a 9-8, new career high for Madison Brooks. So freshman is really peaking at the right time. She had a bars career high on Friday, Beam career high today. That's a good weekend's work.
She is. You can tell her confidence is building throughout the end of this season and that she's becoming more comfortable on the competition floor, which is what you look for, especially from a freshman.
Up third for Temple, trying to continue what has been a fabulous senior day. Final routine here in this meet for Jasmine Estrella.
That leap into that aerial, very nice. Another skill that she wobbled a little bit on Friday, so good to see her nail that landing.
Yeah, Jazz had a really tough beam routine on Friday, just a couple of breaks. 9.325 was that score.
Nice switch half. Getting her dance elements out of the way as she leads into her series. Very nice handspring layout step out. You could see the control she had in that. Exactly what she needed to finish out strong as she heads into her dismount. Very nice slight step on the landing, but definitely the routine she was looking for to end her day.
And she can be really proud of what she did here in her senior day. 9.75 on vault, 9.9 on bars, and we'll await her score on beam.
Starting off 3 for 3 really does make for a confidence booster for the final girls going. Hopefully this will lead into some more consistent routines.
After a long deliberation between the judges on floor, they have settled on an 8-0 for Haley DeChico.
I'm going to assume she did not get the credit for her Rudy, making it all the way around, counting it as a full, which will account for that low start value.
So that will certainly be the score that Ursinus hopes to drop some pressure, though, as that was the opening routine. So they'll try to hit 5 for 5 here and begin with freshman Alex Panetta. Meanwhile, 9.725 is the score for Jasmine Estrella.
Another solid start for them and a good score as we head into our fourth gymnast on the beam.
And this is Ariana Castrense.
Off with her full turn as she gets ready for her Afro series. step out. Very slight balance check, but an improvement for that series. Good start to the routine. Go from her Sassone to switch half, flutter jump. Good leap series. She'll look to finish out with a strong round off, a double full. Take off. Beautiful dismount, slight little shuffle of the feet, but a small deduction. Another great routine for the Owls.
Just to give you a sense of how dominant Ariana Castrense's season has been, beam is the only event in which she is not in first right now in the ECAC. She is the ECAC leader on vault, bars, floor, and in the all-around, and she's third on beam. She's behind Yale's Emma Firmstone and her own teammate Delaney Guerin. So it has really been just a fantastic season for Castrense that we're calling beam her weak link, and she's been excellent this year on that event.
No, it's great to see, and to know that she is only a sophomore, and knowing that in looking at her routines, we are not seeing the most difficult of skills that she is capable of performing, especially on the vault. As we've mentioned, she does have that double twist in Yurchenko that she will likely use towards the end of this season. So we are looking ahead for really great things from her.
And the score for Castrense is a 9-7. Again, all day today, you want to talk about consistency. Temple has had one score lower than a 9-7 this entire afternoon. We'll try to keep that going here with Delaney Guerin on beam.
Smooth start with her full turn as she heads into her first difficult part of her routine. Handspring, layout, step out. Very nice. Even from my angle, looked a tiny bit off and pulled it together with no wobble. Very nice. Split jump into split three-quarters. No wobbles there either. Finishes out with her aerial into her tuck full, stuck landing. A very nice routine in that fifth spot, and a great first 5 routines, allowing Taylor Newland to go in, and no pressure routine, really.
Though I'll say this, it might have been better to put some pressure on Newland because of what she did on Friday night when Temple was struggling a little bit on beam and needed her to hit. She went out and absolutely knocked out a beam routine on Friday night. She was great on floor as well. I thought Taylor Newland probably had her best meet of the season on Friday.
I would agree. That was absolutely the best routine on beam that we've seen so far. So you're right. I think pressure may help her a little bit, but hopefully she'll be able to do the same thing, because great things can happen when she hits this beam routine.
Up third for Ursinus on floor is E.J. Gable, following the 8 from Haley DeChico and an 8.85 from Alex Panetta. And the score comes up for Delaney Guerin. It is a 9-8. So Temple already at a 48-725. That's half a point better than what they did on Friday night. And they can only get better from here with Taylor Newland up 6th.
Yeah, you know, before we started beam, we mentioned how we would love to see Temple continue to go with the strong point. You know, bars and beam are always tricky events, no matter how good you are as a team. So it's great to see them, as their season goes on, being more and more consistent on both of those events.
And Newland is going to have to wait here because her mount actually takes her back out onto the floor. She has to get that running start. So E.J. Gable has the moment to herself.
The 1.5 punch front, nice landing. Did miss that first pass from her, but overall did seem like a solid routine for the Bears.
So Ursinus halfway home on floor exercise. This will be our final competition routine on beam for Temple, though we'll also get an exhibition from Daisy Todd.
such a tough mount, and when you are off, it is off. So not the start that she was looking for, just a little crooked from the takeoff.
So the score you see on your screen is going to be the final score for Temple at the end of this rotation. This will be the number that's dropped, and you kind of now just put that out of your mind, go out, execute the rest of it, and obviously hope to be in a better position come next Friday.
Yes. A nice handspring layout, step out. Good to see that she is removing that punch front from her mind. Nice switch half. She'll look to finish up with her cat leap, side summy into that tuck full dismount. Very nice final portion of that routine. Unfortunate start because that was a great overall routine after the fall.
You know, my apology here on the delayed change. We actually had a late lineup switch for Ursinus, so that opening routine was Ellie LaFountain, not Haley DeChico. They pulled DeChico before the rotation started. LaFountain was scheduled to exhibition, so she had to go in. Obviously, that's a tough change to go from an exhibition to leading off the lineup. I think they did that likely to preserve everyone's position 2 through 6. So that was that opening 8. We have another conversation between the judges. It has been slow going over on floor exercise for Ursinus. Not for Ursinus, for the judges, really.
And as you mentioned, you know, when you are in exhibition, you tend to warm up a little bit less than the rest of the team. You're just giving those that are in the lineup a little more time on the floor. So definitely a difficult position to be in. So something you always need to be prepared for, but never makes it easy when you aren't expecting it.
So the rest of the lineup again stays the same. That was LaFountain first, Panetta second, 885. EJ Gable is the score we're waiting on here. And meanwhile, to finish up her senior day in exhibition here is Daisy Todd.
Front toss into a standing tuck. Very nice. Keeps it moving, so does get that connection. Switch leap into that tuck full. A little short on the tuck full. A little pause between the leaps. But beautiful form in the air. Winds up for a dismount, gainer full for the stick. A routine I'm sure she is very happy with, exhibitioning on the beam in her senior meet.
And you can see how well-liked she is by her team. It's been 2 of the best reactions today for Daisy's 2 routines on bars and on beam. So every senior, obviously, regardless of what they went out and did today, every senior can and should be proud of what they have each contributed so much to this team over the years that they've been here. But it's nice when everyone also has a meet that they can feel good about as well.
Yeah, no, that is exactly what they're looking for. And as you mentioned, Daisy is such a leader for this team, and you know, some ups and downs to her career, so I know that she'll be very happy with that.
So we have 3 routines remaining here for Ursinus on floor. We'll get to spend some time with the Bears now, and we'll begin with one of the Ursinus seniors. This is Skylar Haas.
She starts with a 1.5 front fold. Difficult pass, good start. Switch leap into wolf 1.5. little bit of breathing before this next pass. On full to half into the split jump. Gets her difficulty in the 2 passes. Very nice routine.
Yeah, and again, we've talked so much about Temple seniors and the fact that Ursinus had their senior meet over a month ago back in January, but if you're a senior, you're home road, whatever it is, you're counting down that number of routines you have left, and that is one that Skylar Haas should feel very, very good about. And we will have 2 to go here. No more exhibition for Ursinus on floor. Taylor Cusick and Kaylin Knapsack remain.
That one should be a little bit easier for the judges to deliberate on as we get ready to finish out their 3rd rotation.
And we should note as well, there are a couple of Temple Ursinus connections, and one of them is you can see in the corner of your screen, and that is Temple gymnast last year, senior India Anderson, is the assistant coach for Ursinus, and obviously given the great work that she did on floor in her career here, she was an NCAA individual qualifier on floor in her senior season. She's been a great addition to the floor lineup here at Ursinus as an assistant.
Yeah, I'm sure that the team uses a lot of her, and she's able to give good advice, good coaching tips for these girls, especially on the floor, since she was so talented on that event.
And Ursinus head coach Kim Parsons-Valenti, a former Temple assistant. Also assume that India is going to spend at least a little bit of time as the interim head coach. Kim is 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And just got to salute her for making it through this gymnastics season to this point. I mean, she has done a great job. We've seen her Ursinus a whole bunch this year at home and at a couple of road meets as well. Always great to catch up with her and to be doing everything she's doing. It's remarkable.
Yeah, I'm sure she's just trying to make it to the end of this month before their season ends. They head into their off season. Believe it or not, already March, as these teams are really finishing up the end of their season.
Yeah, again, as we've mentioned, NCGA East Regional for Ursinus next weekend up in Springfield, Massachusetts. 9.45 is the score for Skylar Haas, just half a tenth off of her season best, so excellent routine there. That is the high floor score so far for Ursinus. And we will be ready to go here with Taylor Cusick. Some good floor at the end of this Ursinus lineup. Cusick has a season high of 9.675, and Kaylin Knapsack in the anchor spot has gone as high as 9.775 this season. So we'll see if Ursinus can close strong.
First pass, double pike, very nice first pass, great form and landing. Heads right into her second pass, front full punch front, controlled landing. Switch side into Popa, a little short on the straddle full. Finishes up with that third pass. Rudy punch, looks like she meant to do a split jump out of that. Had a little bit of a lean forward, but good save. Solid routine, fast from start to finish, gets those passes in. Overall, very nice, besides a little hiccup on that last pass.
So again, we will have one routine left here for Ursinus, and then we will take our final break of the afternoon. Fourth rotation puts Temple on floor. Ursinus will finish on beam. And then we reminded we'll sign off, Casey and I, after the end of that fourth rotation. But we invite you to stick around for the entirety of Temple's Senior Day ceremony. We will carry that live following the conclusion of today's meet. Temple honoring their 3 seniors, Jaylene Everett, Jasmine Estrella, and Daisy Todd.
Temple heads into floor. They're going to really hope to put an exclamation point on this meet, really finish out with the routines, most of which they did on Friday, some of their best routines that we have seen. So we are hoping for another successful floor night, something to really get them towards that 195 threshold. Yeah,
there's only one senior in the floor lineup. That is Jaylene Everett, but floor on senior day always seems to be an event where no matter where you are, everyone seems to finish strong. I think you've got all of that energy. You can finally just let it all out, and I think that should suit Temple quite well.
Yes, definitely.
Scores are in. It is a 9.35 for Taylor Cusick.
Yeah, I just think it's that last pass. Had a bit of a deductions for her because her first and second pass were very nice.
And so we will have our last routine here of this rotation. It will be Kaylin Knapsack, the sophomore. Again, season best, 9.775 for Knapsack. And Ursinus is going to shoot up that team score here. You figure with a hit routine, they're going to drop that 8 flat, so they can pick up well over a point here with a good routine from Knapsack.
To 2.5. Beautiful landing. Forgetay into her Popa. Gets ready for the second pass. Front lay, front full. Very nice. Beautiful form in the air. Close out this routine. Round off double tuck. Very good routine. They're going to be very happy with that.
Now the rotation got off to a bit of a tough start for Ursinus. And Ellie LaFountain was a late sub into that opening position. That score gets dropped. They'll have to count the 8.85 from Panetta, but they really picked it up late, and an excellent last routine there from Knapsack. We'll get you the score before we take this break. Temple sitting at a 146.475. They have been excellent, and will try to bring home, certainly they're on pace for one of their high scores of the year if they can keep this up on floor.
Yeah, if they can go in and do the routines that we have seen throughout this season with some good landing, staying in bounds, which is a key thing for the team. Sometimes with their adrenaline, they do tend to bounce around a little bit, which is good to see that they have that much power, but always looking to keep between those lines.
So the score is a 9.65 for Kaylin Knapsack, and that'll jump Ursinus to a 46.525 on floor. And your scores overall as we head to this break and get ready to come back with Temple on floor and Ursinus on beam. Temple through 3 rotations sitting at a 146.475 and Ursinus 139.550. So we'll step away and come back. Last rotation of the day on the way when we continue. You're watching live coverage of Temple Gymnastics on Owls TV. Welcome back to McGonigal Hall. We've got 1 rotation left to cap off the home season here. Here are the scores through 3 rotations. Temple 146.475. They have been uniformly excellent today on vault, bars, and beam, trying to close it out in style on floor. Ursinus, after a slow start on bars, had their high mark on vault, 47.7, and fell on floor a little bit. They'll try to close out on beam, one of their stronger events. And again, we'll run this simultaneously, so we'll give you the lineups on both sides. For Ursinus on beam, Alyssa DeLorme, the freshman, will lead off, followed by Haley DeChico, Taylor Cusick, Autumn Snape, Kaylin Knapsack, and Skylar Haas. We will get an exhibition from freshman Casey Ricci. And on floor exercise, Temple will be led off by Taylor Newland, and then a senior spotlight for Jaylene Everett. The rest of the lineup, Tori Edwards, Jordan Oster, Ariana Castrense, and Delaney Guerin. So Newland, who had that fall on her mount on beam, trying to close out her day the way that she wants to here on floor.
Starts with a very nice double pike, good and controlled with inbounds. Gets set up for her second pass, front leg, front full. Does stay inbounds, but a little low on that front tuck full. Finish up strong with her third and final pass. Double tuck, good landing to finish out. I'm sure she's very happy with that, coming off of not what she wanted to do on beam, so a good final routine for her tonight.
Yeah, just a little issue on that second pass, but that was some really nice footwork there to keep that toe inside of the line. I mean, it was barely in. Barely is still a full 10th that you avoid giving up.
Exactly, so they'll take it. As Ursinus finishes up on beam with a nice handspring 1.5 dismount.
And we have had a change as well to the beam lineup, and that is Haley DeChico comes out on beam as well. She was the late scratch from floor, so something that we probably didn't see may have happened there. Hope that she is good to bounce back next week for Ursinus. So it's, again, a straight switch. That was DeLorme. We're going to put Casey Ricci, in the second position. So it's just a straight swap from the exhibition to that number 2 routine here.
You know, as we mentioned, not always the easiest, especially on the beam, but, you know, these are gymnasts that put in the same numbers of work throughout practice during the week. So as long as she remembers all of that, it's mostly just mental and confidence at that point.
9.45 is the opening score for Newland.
A bit low, but I do believe it's that middle pass. She does not increase her height on the second salto, so that is a slightly large deduction she'll take.
And so here we go. For the last time in a home meet on this floor, senior Jaylene Everett.
Set for her first pass. Front double full punch front, very nice. Again, inbounds. and a large bonus for that skill. Second pass, double pike. Is able to keep it inbounds, a little bit of an arm swing, out of control there, but does manage to keep it in. Heads into her third and final pass. And handspring Rudy, beautiful landing there, tons of height. Very nice finish.
Well, that one corner is giving Temple trouble, those second passes.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got a lot of energy going into that corner and their second passes. So we are going to hope that they can remain inbounds. That is key for Temple, as you know, a 10th here and there can really have an impact on your overall score, especially when it's about a 10th going out of the bounds and then usually a 10th for why it caused you to go out of bounds. So a deduction that they're going to look to avoid. Again, I don't know if that will be the highest score we have seen from Everett this season, but I do think that it will be an improvement from the first score.
Meanwhile, we're waiting on the scores over on beam from Casey Reese, but she hit that beam routine. That's her first one of her career. She had the first hit routine of her career. Her previous high in competition was an 8.25. So that's what those exhibitions do. We talk about them early in the season, and then you get into a situation late in the year like this where you've got to get called up into the rotation. You could see that her team is really thrilled for her to hit that one. And it looks like it's going to be a 9.225 for Reese.
As you mentioned, definitely improvement from her former season high. So, you know, coming in as an exhibition unexpectedly, that is what you are looking for from the gymnast.
And for Jaylene Everett, it is a 9.675.
You know, not Temple's highest score possible, but a start that is a little bit lower than expected that they can potentially build on with the final four routines.
Well, it's kind of the opposite on Friday night. They got off to that great start where both Taylor Newland and Jaylene Everett posted back-to-back season highs, and you thought that Temple was going to catch Penn from behind, and then they kind of sputtered out as the rotation went on. So maybe we're seeing the opposite here today, and this would be a nice inflection point right here if Tori Edwards can hit in the third position for Temple, out on the beam as well as Taylor Cusick.
Definitely something that Tori Edwards is more than capable of doing. As she gets into her first pass, double pike. Good, a little bounce back, but good control. She heads into her leaps, very nice. Second pass, very nice landing there. She'll finish up her 1.5 front layout. No trouble in that corner for her. Beautiful landing. Great routine for Tori Edwards.
Edwards looked like she got stronger as that routine got on, and that can potentially set up the last three here in the Temple lineup: Jordan Oster, Ariana Castrense, and Delaney Guerin.
And each of these gymnasts has the potential to score very well on their routines. It's a matter of, you know, as we mentioned, the landings, the form in the air, and even getting those leaps and those jumps around full credit.
Up fourth on beam for Ursinus is senior Autumn Snape, 8.65 from Taylor Cusick. That's the low score right now for the Bears. And it's going to be a 9.825 for Tori Edwards, new season high.
Very nice. Those passes were well deserved. Definitely some of the most controlled that we've seen her. Heads into that first pass. It's very difficult, beautiful landing, just about stuck that punch front into her double back. She flirts with that corner a little bit, but definitely stays in because she has that control. Nice leaps going into the corner for her next pass. Finishes up her dance here. She breathes. Gives her the energy for her second and final pass. Looks to stay in bounds. Very nice landing. Exactly what they were looking for out of Jordan.
And you can feel the crowd starting to pick up. The team's energy is picked up over on the side, and Temple 2 routines away from putting together certainly one of their most complete meets of the season.
You know, it is that something that they've looked at this whole year is, you know, doing really well on 2 or 3 events, having one that's a little bit up and down. So this is definitely the meet that they were looking for, especially coming off of a dual weekend, which is always exhausting for the team. But for them to know that they can hit a meet like this 2 in a row after a Friday meet, that's great going into one of their final away meets.
Yeah, we kind of mentioned that at the beginning and haven't really come back around, but I think you've seen no drop-off in the energy from Temple at all here from Friday to Sunday. I think you could make the argument it's picked up.
Yeah, no, I would agree, and a great 9.875 for Jordan Oster on floor, so definitely what they were looking for as they head into their 5th and 6th routines.
So that is back-to-back season highs for Edwards and Oster.
You know, as we get ready for Ariana Castrense to hit the floor, you know, she's got one of those great floor routines that you know can score really high. It's all about her honing in and keeping her power under control. So we're excited to see what she can do here.
On the beam right now for Ursinus is Kaylin Knapsack, the floor anchor who had that great routine. And here we go with Ariana Castrense to finish up her afternoon in the all-around.
Here we go, getting ready for her double layout to open up. Very nice, keeps it nice and under control and inbounds. Switch half into Popa. Great form in the air, hits that 180-degree split. Going into her second and final pass. Half to her Rudy, very nice finish. Excellent routine from Castrense in that 5th spot. she's happy with that. You can see the team is excited as well.
Just want to add to what we said a moment ago. Jordan Oster, that 9.875 is not just a season high, that is a career high for Oster, so she should be really thrilled with that outcome. Score for Caitlin Knapsack was a 9.35, so we have one routine left to go on either side here. We're going to kind of crash land into this finish here with both going at the same time. Skylar Haas is on the beam for Ursinus, and momentarily we'll have Delaney Guerin to finish things up for Temple on floor.
She'll go handspring layout on the beam. Good fight to stay on, just a little off towards the end.
And the score comes in for Castrense. It is a 9-9.
All right, that is definitely what they're looking for going into their sixth and final routine. Delaney ready to make up a little bit for Friday. I'm sure that she, is ready to kind of have a rebound, make up for what was not her best routine.
Can she make it 3 for 3 career bests? Oster and Castrense have done it.
That's up for her first pass. Half to the Rudy, beautiful start, already starting off stronger, staying inbounds and very controlled in that landing. Back towards the table, full. Up for her Rudy, the pass that gave her a bit of trouble on Friday, a little bit there, definitely better, did not put her hands down, but you can just see she's not getting the push off the floor that she really needs. She'll look to finish up her routine with that final pass. One and a half to lay out. Beautiful landing, stays inbounds. Definitely an improvement from Friday and maybe able to drop that first score from the floor today.
Yeah, that low number right now is a 9.45 for Taylor Newland. So there's a chance that Temple could add perhaps a tenth or two here to their team total, but we should look at the bigger picture right now. The score on your screen, Temple can do no worse than a 195-2. Already, that is the third highest score in program history here this afternoon. Now, no matter what, they're not going to be able to catch those top two scores, regardless of what this is. So it's the number 3 score in the record books all time, and I think this is Casey finally. Of course, there's one or two things you could look at here or there. Temple's probably going to wish they hadn't given away maybe another tenth or two on floor, but this was the best meet of the year by probably some margin. I think their most complete meet of the year. They hit 4 for 4 events. This is the kind of meet that it will take to win an ECAC championship.
Yeah, without question, this is exactly what they were looking to do. And as you mentioned, if you can look back on a meet where you are placing your third highest in school history and can still look back and say, hey, we can improve this, we can improve that, a couple steps here and there, some form issues, some stuck landings, that just shows how much potential the team still has.
Well, I would say the only thing that the judges took was that second pass, because 9.85 for one judge.
That's what you got to love about that 6 gymnasts up. Sometimes the judges can see no wrong, so we will take it.
That's what 2 career highs in front of you does. And since we were maybe a little tough on the other side on the judges, we'll say, maybe a little high, but it's a 9.825 for Guerin. It's a 49.1 for floor. That is a season best mark for Temple, so they cap it out in a great way, and they score a 195.575. Huge score today for Temple. Again, third best in program history. The top 2 came back in 2018. They went 196.050, the only 196 in history. and 195.8. Both of those, incidentally, were in the same weekend here at home back in 2018. So this is the third highest score ever for Temple, a 195.575. Ursinus will help their NQS today with a 185.775. Not their season high, but again, they got into some trouble early, but some positive things to build on, and hopefully they can go out and represent themselves well in the NCGA.
Yeah, you know, Ursinus is coming off of a few really great seasons, had some ups and downs the last couple as they work with some new gymnasts coming in, some freshmen in the lineup, so I'm sure great things to come from the team.
So that will do it for us. This is the end of our regular season, but as Temple is hosting the ECAC, Casey and I will join you again. We hope that you'll be with us for the ECAC Championship 6-team meet Saturday, March 21st, beginning at 12 noon. It'll be carried right here on owlsports.com. We hope that you'll join us for that one. It promises to be extremely exciting. Temple, Penn, Yale, Brown, Cornell, and William & Mary will compete here at McGonigal Hall for a conference title. So Temple gets the win today. They get the high score of the season, a 195.575. And as we say goodbye, we invite you to stick around. We will have the presentation of awards and the Senior Day ceremony for Temple's seniors, Daisy Todd, Jaylene Everett, and Jasmine Estrella. For my partner, Casey Addis, I'm Kevin Kopp. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you back here in McGonigal Hall in 2 weeks for the ECAC Championship.
Today's final team scores. In second place, the Ursinus Bears with a 185.775. And in first place with a season high 195.575, your Temple Owls. Our Senior Day presentation will begin shortly. Seniors from Ursinus, please stand when we call your name. Brianna Kautz. Skylar Haas. Eleanor LaFountain. Autumn Snape. And Sabrina Tusovitz. Thank you all for your contributions to your team and your institution. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Now we will honor the Temple Women's Gymnastics Class of 2020. Each year, Temple University is proud to have student athletes who represent the school well through their hard work, both in the classroom and here in the gym. Today, we would like to recognize those members of the women's gymnastics team who will be graduating later this year. Temple is fortunate to have 3 seniors on the roster: Jasmine Estrella, Jaylene Everett, and Daisy Todd. All three of them have made valuable contributions to Temple in their time here and will surely be missed. We would like to honor their hard work and dedication to the university and the team at this time. Our first senior is Jasmine Estrella. Jasmine is escorted today by her mom, Sophie, and her dad, Fred. Jasmine is a captain of the team and has been a member of the Cherry and White for 2 years. In her collegiate career, she holds personal records of 985 on vault, 995 on bars, 9825 on beam, and 9825 on floor. Jasmine is the bars record holder for Temple Gymnastics and competed at the NCAA Regional in 2017 on vault, bars, and floor. In her career as an Owl, Jasmine was named to the All-ECAC teams on vault, bars, and beam, and to the All-Academic team. Jasmine's favorite memory of being on the team has been every single competition with her teammates. She's loved every second she's spent with this amazing team, and her teammates have had her back through it all. She appreciates them more than they may know. She would also like to thank her teammates for being very supportive, and she would like to thank Josh and Rachel for giving her a chance last year. And finally, she would like to thank her parents and family for joining her on this wild adventure. They've been there for her no matter the circumstance. Ladies and gentlemen, Jasmine Estrella. Our second senior is Jaylene Everett. Jaylene is escorted by her mom, Sherry, dad, Keith, brother, Jason, and sister-in-law, Audrey. Jaylene has had a prolific career in her 4 years as an Owl. She owns career highs of 9875 on vault and 9925 on floor. As a junior, she qualified for the NCAA Penn State Regional on vault. Jaylene earned numerous accolades, including being named to the All-ECAC Vault and Floor teams, the ECAC All-Academic team, and to the Philadelphia Inquirer All-Area at-Large team. Jaylene's favorite memories of being on the team are watching the program grow over the years and breaking numerous school records. Also, being able to compete at the NCAA Regionals for Vault and making memories with her teammates, such as Jeep tours in Colorado and sleepless nights in Utah. Jaylene would like to thank her coaches from both Temple and her hometown gym, Spirit Gymnastics, her amazing teammates for the support, laughs, and memories, and most importantly, her parents for their endless support and attending every single one of her NCAA gymnastics competitions, no matter how far. She loves them both endlessly and appreciates all they do for her. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaylene Everett. Our final senior is Daisy Todd. Daisy is escorted by her mom, Susie, and her dad, Robert. Daisy is a 2-year captain and 4-year member of the team. She owns career highs of 985 on vault, 9825 on bars, 9825 on beam, 9775 on floor, and 39025 in the all-around. Daisy competed in the 2017 NCAA Regional as a bar specialist and was named the ECAC Co-Rookie of the Year. She has earned numerous All-ECAC and All-Academic accolades in her career, and in 2018, she became Temple's first ever vault champion at the ECAC Championships. Daisy has made countless memories in her 4 years at Temple, but one of the most noteworthy was getting to be a part of Temple's first ever conference championship. She said experiencing all the successes of a growing program was an incredible experience, and the memories she's made with her teammates outside of the gym have been just as great. Daisy would like to thank her parents for their love and support, her coaches for always believing in her and helping her reach her highest potential, her athletic trainers for keeping her in one piece, and her teammates for being the craziest and most wonderful group of girls she's ever met. She's so grateful for the opportunity to finish out her 18th and final year of gymnastics with such a fun, loving group of people. Ladies and gentlemen, Daisy Todd. Fans, now turn your attention to the video board for our special Senior Day video. Once again, let's give a big hand for the Temple University Gymnastics Class of 2020, Jasmine Estrella, Jaylene Everett, and Daisy Todd. Thank you for your dedication to the program and the university. We wish you well as you partake in your final regular season home meet here in McGonigal Hall. Thank you for attending tonight's meet and supporting the gymnastics team throughout the regular season. Please get home safely. Autographs will begin shortly on the concourse by the main entrance.